Hello once again, everybody, and welcome to Audi Field in the nation's capital. It is Washington Spirit and Orlando Pride clashing to begin this Sunday in the NWSL as we welcome you here to the United States. Great to have you with us for today's action here on Twitch. I'm Michael Watching with our entire crew, bringing you the broadcast in the 19th all-time meeting between these two clubs. What gives here today? Orlando is starting to find a positive rhythm. Washington is looking to get back on the winning track. Their lone win of the season came all the way back in the season opener. Washington wearing the navy uniforms overall, and the keeper Devin Kerr will be in the bright green. Orlando wearing the white uniforms, and Aaron McLeod will be in the light pink as you take a look at Alyssa Nichols, our referee for this matchup. She checks to make sure everything's all right, looks at the watch, starts the watch, blows the whistle, and here we go from Washington, D.C., Orlando and the Spirit of Washington taking on this matchup. It's a warm day, as you might expect here in the summer months in the eastern portion of the United States. Washington, after that very difficult loss last week, a 1-0 setback to Kansas City, in which the ball was cleared off the line for the Spirit. A PK opportunity also was saved in stoppage time of that matchup. Let's see how these teams respond here today. There's Darian Jenkins, 10th career goal 2 weeks ago. There's this one in, and it's cleared out back towards the middle of the field as we take you through the starting 11s for these two units. It is a very good ball. Hustling along the side is Marissa Shiva, and her pass gets intercepted but comes out top for a long shot attempt that clips the top from Bailey Feist. A 4-2-3-1 for the Spirit. Left to right across the back, it's Bogolski, Staub, Brooks, and Helferty. In the defensive midfield, Bailey and Almer. Across the top of the midfield, Baggett, Feist, and Shiva. And Tara Miquion is up top as the striker. 4-5-1 is the look for Orlando. Strom, Presley, Oyster, or check that. Strom, Presley, Montefusco, and Jimenez across the back. In the midfield, it is Timrak, Listro, Doherty, Howard, Villacorta, and Abello, and Darian Jenkins is up top in this formation for the Pride. Deep throw here inside of the corner. Flag for Kylie Strom, a goal in that Racing Louisville matchup a couple weeks ago. There's Seb Hines. This ball lifted forward, Jenkins giving chase. Coach Hines was very complimentary of the work that Darian Jenkins has put in. And in the last meeting between these clubs, back in May, Jenkins had the 98th minute equalizer. It's the latest game-changing in terms of a result play in NWSL regular season history. Down 2-0. Orlando scored twice in stoppage time. There's some space here and a very good turn. Orlando in those white uniform tops glistening here at Audi Field. Have never won inside of this stadium. Taking the extra touch and flicking it on in. Washington handles, though, with aplomb. Well, these two teams are in contrasting positions in terms of roster at this juncture. Washington 7 players away with the U.S. women's national team. That's tied for the most in the league amongst international call-ups. Orlando, conversely, has just one. That is the fewest in the NWSL. Now, granted, Orlando has gone through roster turnover. The trade with Angel City of Sydney Leroux, who scored the lone goal the last time. There's nearly a disastrous mistake by Devin Kerr. Washington making a mess of this situation in the back before it is pounded forward by Amber Brooks just to get it away from net. Four of the last 6 meetings between these sides have been draws, and the last time that Orlando won was back in the Challenge Cup of 2021 in April, and that Leroux goal in a 1-0 victory for the Pride. Presley steps to it and strikes it, and there's Devin Kerr to pick it up. Well, interesting talking with Coach Chris Ward for Washington and the overall mindset in which the team is at this point, and it's a very unique overall position for the team to be in. As here's some real estate to work with and some room in the middle of the field. Decisions to be made here, and a long-range shot bangs the back of Presley and rolls out for her first corner of the match here in the 6th minute. That was a long-range opportunity from Bailey Feist, a 25-year-old who has spent the entirety of her professional career with the Spirit. And the first corner kick coming up, Sam Staub, one of the 12 players in the NWSL that has played every minute, typically takes the corners, but it is Dorian Bailey ready to strike this ball. Bailey boots it in. McLeod with all sorts of trouble, cannot make the play, and Brooks' header clangs the top of the bar. Nearly an opening goal here in the 6th minute off of the corner kick, which this Washington team has been very good at. A foul whistled and a very good round of applause, with the team providing some early moments. Well, there were several bodies in on McLeod here inside of the box. Look at that, 3 different bodies right there, and Brooks got the last chance, and it hits the crossbar. That close, and that moment right there almost sums up what Washington has dealt with. Bogalski. That ball bangs off of a body. Bogalski, a 23-year-old playing at Wisconsin, hits it off of Bellows' body. And another corner kick coming up, and we just saw the danger that Washington can do in those corner kick situations, and this time around it will be Sam Staub, leading the league in corner kicks taken overall on the season. Staub studies, strikes, back post this time around. Once again, lingering in the area was Brooks, and a third corner here in the last couple moments. Coming up here for the Spirit. Well, the majority of the action for Washington has come late in matches this year. 7 of the 11 goals scored in the final half hour of matches, so a strong start would be a nice change of perspective for this unit. This ball struck by Bailey. Brooks circles, fires it back in. McLeod trying to get to it, but Presley gets it out. Pressure mounting against the Pride. The veteran Aaron McLeod, one of those 12 players that has played every minute. Coming off of her second clean sheet of the season. Take another look at this. McLeod was trying to get there, but Presley at 5'11", the first one to obstruct. Now a header opportunity from Almer. Goes wide, and for the time being, Orlando can take a collective sigh of relief. Well, it's a very good start if you're Washington at this point. Certainly a desire to get back on the winning track as you take another look at it. Staub, very good service and a fine run from Almer. but unable to redirect it between the pipes. This long ball sent forward, not cleared away. Miquion intercepts. Presley backpedals. Baggett flies wide. Shiva hits a body. Down in the box still. Let's see if they elect to stop it. Shiva. Bigelski. There's a player down in the box, and Bigelski will hit it out. And that will ensure that play will stop. Here's another look at it. Shiva's service into the 18. And Tara Miquion got hit, and I think she was perhaps bracing for a greater impact. And unfortunately for her, perhaps didn't get any contact because that sent her directly to the ground. And she will get looked at by the training staff here as 10 minutes have elapsed at Audi Field. Certainly hope that she's all right. 5th overall pick in the 2021 draft. And an excellent crowd here at Audi Field. And of course, you flip-flop between Audi Field and Segra Field whenever you come to town for the Spirit. Orlando will be the only team this year that plays twice at Audi Field, doing so also in the Challenge Cup. Glad you're joining us for this broadcast. Hope you enjoy this one. Round of the day. First of two to wrap it up. Kansas City and OL Reign coming out in a couple hours. Timing should work out well that you can catch the entirety of this one and flip on over to ensure that you catch the entirety of that matchup between a current team in fine shape and the OL Reign. Miquion on the pitch. Bigelski cannot control that ball. As I was mentioning, though, in speaking with Chris Ward and the current run of form, he said that one of the biggest keys that he has within his group is ensuring that everyone understands that this may be a difficult time, but there have been some positives to take away. Not an exact science, he said, and just trying to understand the differences that every match can come with. Certainly saying that there's a lot of situations that sometimes go on off the field that you might not necessarily know, and the players looking to overcome. But said it's a very hungry team at this juncture in the season. The defending champions looking to regain its form. Dating back to the Challenge Cup, the string has reached 12 consecutive winless matches for the Spirit. In the prior 34 before that, 5 total losses. Unexpected territory. Bailey is looking to play through Miquion, instead intercepted but not cleared very well. Bodies in the box, crossed in. McLeod juggles, but is able to land in front of the ball, shielding it away from Shiva. And Aaron McLeod was praised by Seb Hines, the experience with an Orlando team that just a couple weeks ago had hit a bit of a scuffling moment. He was looking to get back into the winning path, had been outscored 12-0 over a 3-match period. But the draw against Racing Louisville in that match played at Daytona International Speedway, and last week's 1-0 win, courtesy of an own goal. Jenkins looking to hold it up, gets taken down, no whistle. Bailey. Shiva. Makes it out wide, and that ball will be intercepted by Villacorta. good pass between two defenders. It allows Orlando to clear, but only as far as Almer. Miquion turning. So good in tight spaces. Taking on a key role for this Washington side. Dandy of a move here. Excellent pass looking for Jenkins, intercepted by Brooks. And Bigelski will send it back. Well, if you're Washington, you have to be delighted with how this one has started. 5 early shot attempts, 1 that hit the crossbar on a header from Brooks. It still is very baffling to me how a ball that hits the pipes is not officially ruled a shot on target. If you have an explanation for that, I'd love to hear it. Because that seems to be on target. Miquion doing well. Miquion with her left boot is wide. But the 15th minute, another fine move by the 23-year-old rookie. An excellent turn here, going behind the back. And a left-footed ball, never got that curling action to it. Played a quarter of an hour. I'm Michael Watching with our entire crew, watching this one with you. Hope you're enjoying your day or night, wherever you may be watching this one. Looking forward to seeing how these two teams clash. Some space here. Tim Rack, flag staying down. Jenkins with an empty net to that side and couldn't put it on target, but that is the ingenuity through the midfield that Orlando has begun to find. Tim Rack with a terrific run, perfect pass, great timing, and Jenkins with Devin Kerr coming off of her line, unable to hook it around. That was a great pass in space. First shot attempt of the match right there for Orlando, and it was one of the best. Bigelski does very well with the strength and then draws the foul. It was a very nice move from Bigelski and good strength. Balance as well to get past Strom. And a foul whistled. Here's another glance at it. Perhaps getting away with an early tug, although not a ton there. It's setting it up for what in essence will be a corner kick. Washington has had a variety of set piece opportunities here early. Spirit knocking on the door. Staub readies. This one sails to the back post. Intended for Feist. That one goes out, and it's another corner kick coming up. 5th corner already, and we haven't even played 20 minutes yet. Orlando's getting a good practice here in its defense. Washington getting plenty of chances. Bailey ready for this one. Feist again, the target. Falls to Brooks. Flies it back. Attempt from Almer. Blocked. Another attempt comes in. That was a strong shot attempt from Baggett. McLeod, though, gobbles it up. Pressure from the Spirit mounting. Passing much better. The second worst passing efficiency team in the final third in the NWSL this season. It's been solid in this matchup so far. Timrak again with space. Flies through. Jenkins tried to get that touch right around Kerr. Devin Kerr, who last year didn't get a whole lot of playing time and is getting significant action now. She does really well here. Jenkins about a fraction of a step away from getting that additional touch to it to slide it around. Chris Ward said that it's been a tough couple years for Kerr, getting adjusted, learning how to play consistently, and said that a shutout is all she needs to solidify the confidence that she's provided this group. Another Orlando giveaway. Mikion was thinking about taking it. Instead, a good slide tackle, at least initially, to the naked eye, but it is a foul whistled. First minute, no score, but Washington has been knocking at the doorstep. 8 shots early in this match for a Washington team that has been a slower starting group. And Orlando right the ship. Washington with the all-time lead, 7 wins in the series out of 18 overall meetings, 5 losses, 6 draws. Well, Orlando, both the MLS team and the NWSL team, won 1-0 at Exploria Stadium last week on own goals. And with the MLS team playing earlier today, there's a good viewing party going on Wall Street Plaza. That first game started, the MLS game started a few hours ago and wrapped up right in time for the start of this matchup. That was a 1-1 draw against Atlanta United, rather. And the NWSL Orlando Pro Soccer Club, well, pro football team, rather, its business on the road and make it 3 consecutive matches unbeaten. They're still playing, but Weiss gave up for a second, indicating that she thought the ball was out. Now the whistle. Strom tosses. Let's see if Orlando can settle back into this. Listro across the field. Very little of this early in this match for the Pride. 44% of the possession. A lot of it has been scrambling, although they've had amongst our best chances. Ball off the crossbar from Brooks for Washington. Maybe your best opportunity. And then Jenkins empty in space right near the penalty dot in the 16th minute. Nearly opened the scoring. Washington's been excellent here at Audi Field. Only 2 losses in all competitions in 16 overall games, 9 victories. The losses coming in 2018 to Portland and Angel City earlier this season, almost 2 months ago to the day. Both were 1-0 losses. The U.S. women's national team will play on this pitch against Nigeria on September 6th in a friendly. That'll be the first time that the women's national team plays on this field in a friendly. Schramm drifts it back. Presley. Jenkins has been so good at holding up these balls. Goes to the surface, draws the foul. That's a big reason why Seb Hines has been very complimentary of the play of the 27-year-old who grew up in Utah. He was a former top 10 pick in the NWSL draft. Let's see how Orlando handles this situation. Much like Washington, a second half team. Tight space here, but pass forward. Timrak. Good slide tackle from Feist. Bailey Feist putting in the work. It's a very nice crowd here at Audi Field. This beautiful facility. Excellent pass forward. Touched out wide though. Clipped into the box. There's one jersey and one target there. Nearly given away, and now Washington will pirouette away. Spray it out towards the middle of the field. Audi Field with a seating capacity of 20,000. Built 4 years ago, and it opened on July 14th of 2018. Washington controls the possession. They also have an 8-shots-to-1 lead. Spirit team that has more draws than losses. Just one win. Feist. This ball launched forward and headed back where McLeod will go to track it down. It's a Washington team that has only held 2 leads in the last 11 matches. Both have been 2-0 leads, and both have resulted in 2-2 draws. And speaking with Chris Ward about that, said that wants to see his team battle for not just a lead, but to keep the foot on the accelerator and not be content with a 1-0 lead or a 2-0 lead, and try to consistently push for more. Presley. Jenkins was hoping for a missed header there. Washington's done so well to build up. After today's matchups in the NWSL, another break of about 12 days, starting us off when the teams return after the international window. July 29th, North Carolina, Washington back in action on July 29th to start off that day and that week of action, as reinforcements will be returning to their respective sides across the international competitions. Slightly out of the reach of an extended Feist, but she's able to track it down and fire it over for Shiva. Shiva circles. Dangerous ball in with a good low lining trajectory. Pride clear. Look at all the space that Washington has to operate with. Orlando been chasing the game. Took advantage of one counter-attacking opportunity to get a good shot, and that's been their lone shot. And here's a careless giveaway in the middle of the field. Jenkins keeps it alive for a moment, but Feist quickly back to it to intercept. Given right back. We're a third of the way through this matchup here at Audi Field in Washington, D.C. Michael Watring with our entire crew. Great to have you with us as Washington and Orlando clash for the 19th time in all competitions. Spirit controlling the game early. Top of the box, it's Bailey. He's trying to get it over to Shiva, instead intercepted and flicked along. 8 shots to 1, the advantage for the Spirit. One of the shots from Amber Brooks, who just had the ball there. And now gathers, has hit the crossbar. This ball touched forward. Shiva circles around. She flies it in. McLeod backpedals, gives it a look. It goes out for a goal kick and gives us an opportunity as well to get a hydration break here at Audi Field and give us a chance to take a look around how things have gone in the rest of the NWSL so far this weekend. On Friday, despite a combined 39 shot attempts, Racing Louisville and San Diego finished at a 0-0 draw. That was a terrific matchup. San Diego 9 shots on goal in the match. Racing Louisville had 6, but neither side could break through. 0-0 in that one. Saturday, how about Houston's performance and the Dash? Ebony Salmon a hat trick, scoring twice in the first half, adding one early in the second half. And Houston taking a 3-0 lead, finishes off Chicago by a 4-1 tally. Portland a decisive win over Gotham. 3 goals in the first 11 minutes, 5 total in a 5-0 shutout of Gotham. And that pulls Portland within a point of San Diego for the top spot in the NWSL standings. Chicago had a chance as well, perhaps to move atop the table, but they sit now 2 points off the pace of the Wave in third. And the final game of the weekend will be OL Reign traveling to Kansas City. That match starts in roughly 90 minutes from Kansas City. Reign sit in 5th place. 3 points for them would catapult them into a tie for third, while Kansas City with 15 points could put themselves in a cozy playoff position if they can come away with 3 more points and continue their fine run of form. Here we have 2 teams that are looking to go into this brief international break with a delightful performance in front of a very good crowd here at Audi Field. Watching this one between these 2 sides. Hydration break on a warm day. It is 29 degrees Celsius out. Not as hot as it possibly could be here in the July months. It's still a warm day and giving both teams a chance to get their break, so that'll add on some stoppage time at the end of the first half. 34th minute, scoreless so far in the first half. Washington has certainly put the pressure on Orlando, but nothing to show for it so far as Bigelski is called for the foul. And it's a quick restart that gets called back, and Orlando perhaps was going to have some space there. Ball drifting in no man's land, and Orlando eventually comes up with it. Strom. Too hard on that pass. It's banged down the other way. McLeod, seen a lot of action on her side of the field, comes out to grab it. To keep possession. They've been on this side of the field. Amber Brooks more than content with just holding on to the ball for a moment, and now slings it forward. McLeod coming out. Here McLeod said so much in her career, so many great accomplishments. Most cap players in Canadian women's national team history. The older players in the league as well. Bigelski. Shiva winds up over a couple jerseys and out for a goal kick. Here's another glance at that. Take a look at Shiva's move. Two players kind of bouncing into each other. One of the big keys that Seb Hines discussed, I mentioned the shot differential early, is the team taking shots with high percentages? And that was his biggest point, is sometimes you may look at the voluminous amount of crosses or shots, but he says that a lot of times he doesn't want players to just whip a ball through the box just for the sake of whipping it through. He would much rather hold on to possession, add some reinforcements to the attack, and make a push and see what they can eventually do in that regard. To exploit teams by dribbling and working to break them down versus getting into a spot where perhaps you could be dangerous. And rather than making it a nervy moment for the defense, you just probably give the ball right back. And that's been the scenario that Orlando is trying to perfect here at this juncture in the match. Just one shot attempt so far. Although they have had more final third entries, the passing in that final third has not been very high, just 60%. Let's see if that changes here. Good charge from Villacorta. A deflection to Timrak. Eludes one defender, spins, can't avoid the second. Baggett coming back to intercept it right away, and Orlando can't hold on to it in the waning moments here of half number one. A scoreless affair so far. us here on Twitch to watch this matchup. Well, we've gone a good chunk of time without a shot. It's been about 20 minutes since our last official shot attempt after we had 8 from Washington in the first 18. Plenty of time here for the Pride. Well, I mentioned these two teams typically better in half number 2. Typically find some good strength in the second half in terms of goal scoring ability. Better here for the Pride. Numbers building up. Flicked out wide. Low cross in, and perhaps that is one of those moments for Orlando that Seb Hines was discussing. Impatience. Trying to swing it into the box, although it was a 3v3 situation. Could it have been an opportunity perhaps for an extra couple dribbles? There's a lot of room to the left if Mikion can pick it out. Instead, she gives it away. Jenkins, heavy on the touch, takes a tumble. Foul whistle on Bigelski. A dead ball situation coming up for the Pride. Orlando will ponder. What's the maneuver here? Jenkins a good target in the box. Presley is right there, so she will not be an option as this ball gets flown in. And yanked down by Devin Kerr. 24 years of age, grew up in Canada, played collegiately at Ohio State. And just like a lot of the players out there that might not have the biggest of roles throughout the entirety of the season, getting opportunities during this window to see more action. And the depth and the growth of the game in the United States and internationally on full display during this time window. World Cup coming up next year. Kerr has to swing the leg forward. Mikion does very well between two defenders. Holds it up, draws the foul. Jordan Listro in the mix there. Final moments of the first half. Staub sets up Brooks, who's been patient in her decision making. Redirected header will get cleared out. Jenkins collides with Staub, wins the header, but Brooks takes it away. She'll go out wide left. Hard pass this time around, and it's a goal kick. It's amazing. The initial build that was seen by Washington, the pressure that was being applied, just all of a sudden, it has turned into more a defensive matchup. The two teams feeling each other out. Possession still heavily in favor of the Spear, 58%. Endo being asked to do a lot of defending. Brooks has basically been unmarked the whole match. Just hasn't quite had that dangerous pass as of yet. Gelski's put in a good shift so far, 23-year-old. Jenkins is able to keep this ball in, driving at the back line. Space empties up for Timrak. It's a really good turn there from Listro. Throw in for the Pride. As we get towards stoppage time here of the first half, we will have 4 minutes of stoppage time, indicated right there by our fourth official. Let's see if either of these two teams can fire away. Lengthy pass forward. There's only one defender back there. Be there as well, with a couple Spirit players making the break. We have not had an input of a card, a shot, anything since the 19th minute. That's when Jordan Baggett took aim from just outside of the box. Aaron McLeod made a save after a frenetic start. A lot of play through the midfield and inability to finish. Lower scoring teams in the league. Possession taken by the Pride. And a foul whistled on Orlando. Washington has the second fewest goals in the NWSL with the 11 on the season. Gotham has 7. Spirit have only given up 15 all year. That's a stingy mark. Orlando, conversely, 12 goals on the season, but they've given up a league high 26. No other team's given up more than 18. Jenkins spins. Timrak. Pass wide, flag is up, offside. Even haven't had a lot of those moments either. Isabello was making that run. She's in an offside position. Third minute of stoppage time of a 0-0 tally. Pass set forward. Washington looking for a decisive goal here in the first half. Intercepted. Final minute of the opening 45. Advantage played. Jenkins. Not a lot of numbers. Darian Jenkins saved by Kerr. Orlando asking for a handball. No such call, but Darian Jenkins getting our first shot in 30 minutes. That was really good work there by Jenkins. Wasn't a lot of options there. Back behind the play. That's where the original foul happened, but advantage was played. And that's why Jenkins was able to get this opportunity. No numbers. Odd angle as well, and Kerr with a really strong save. And a few yards to her right, and that would have been an easy finish with an empty net, but got the save correct. That's the first shot on target officially for Orlando. First shot for either side in a half hour. So Almer will pick up a yellow card as well. Our first booking of this matchup on that foul in the middle of the field. Here in the winning moments, probably only have about 30 seconds left, if that. Here's another glance at that foul. Was the one that came in to make contact. Elmer picking up the yellow, however, and there is your first half whistle. So a flurry of a start from Washington does not amount to any goals in the opening 45 minutes. A solid charge from the Spirit, but after one half of action, we are scoreless between Washington and Orlando. Second half action right around the corner. One of these two sides get a winner. We'll find out when we come back. 0-0 at the break between the Spirit and the Pride. Stick with us. We'll come back with more in a moment here on Twitch. We welcome you back to the United States nation's capital as we get ready for second half action. This is when these two teams have played their best soccer this season, as Orlando has scored more stoppage time goals in the second half than any team in the league. 9 of the 12 goals scored by this team have come in half number 2. Conversely, for Washington, 7 of the team's 11 goals this season have come in the final 30 minutes. Will that hold up true here in this matchup? As we are scoreless after the opening 45, it was a terrific start to the contest for Washington. 8 shots in the first 18 minutes, but never were able to get much going outside of that. Now let's see how these two tides handle half number 2. Great to have you with us. Michael Watchring with our entire crew for this action. Come in, stay a while, and enjoy the second half of football here in Audi Field. No changes for either of the two sides. 29 degrees Celsius is your temperature for this matchup. As we start off the second half, Washington in the navy uniforms, Devin Kerr in the light green as well, while Orlando in the all-white and Aaron McLeod in the light pink for this contest. Staub takes a couple steps forward. Amber Brooks had a lot of touches, and she perhaps had the best opportunity of this one, where she had an empty header in the 6th minute off of a corner kick. And her header hit the crossbar. Long ball sent forward. Bigelski. She's done well on that sideline, and she does well yet again. Baggett takes aim, and a great sprawling stop by Aaron McLeod to keep this thing scoreless. Well, it's a fine run from Bigelski to begin everything. Does an excellent job of maintaining the balance, and then the first touch pass, Baggett shot, and McLeod able to make the save right along that post. 5 first half corner kicks for Washington. Let's see how half number 2 starts as Staub's ready. Pings it in, middle of the box, nodded to the ground by Almer. And it's a goal kick. Almer had a terrific run in that first half as well, in a similar spot off of a corner, and just narrowly missed making perfect contact with the header as it went wide. Similar situation here as you take a look at this. Almer got it. And again, just not the exact location she would like to make contact with it. 2 players injured, 1 for each side, draws the attention of the support staff here. Make sure that those players are all right. Well, Almer picked up a yellow card in the waning moments of that first half. As you take another look at it, there's the contact, and that is a powerful collision. Kylie Strom taking the harder of the two, potentially there because of how she fell as well. And the goal against Racing Louisville 2 weeks ago. Her first goal in 2 years since she was with Atletico Madrid. See Almer. A little nick right above the eyebrow. She'll be helped off to the sideline. Good to see Strom back up as well for Orlando. Washington is in the midst of an 11-match winless streak. It's the 8th time in NWSL history that a team has gone at least 10 without a win. It's the 3rd time it's happened to the Spirit. It happened in 2013 and 2018. Well, Washington coming out of the second half the same way they came out in the match. An early bit of pressure. Aaron McLeod's been taught to the task through the first 49 minutes. Jenkins has done very well in hold-up play as there's a foul whistled. Orlando has seen 14 players this year pick up yellow cards, tied with Washington for the most in the NWSL. Hasn't really been an overly physical game. The Almer yellow came well after a whistle. There's an intercepted pass, but it does go out. Should be a throw. Certainly looked like that ball went out. Now bodies bang into each other, and there is a foul whistled. I thought that ball was clearly out on the sideline. But there was no stoppage. And eventually Feist called for the foul. Here's another glance at that last situation with Feist coming in and barreling into Timrack. Corner kick coming up for Orlando. The Pride will get their first of the day. Tim Rack will be the one that will take it here in the 51st minute. And let's see if this is a decisive moment. Orlando just 2 shots, being outshot 10-2. Almer back onto the pitch. And will be given time to join the fracas in the box. Tim Rack strikes it. They go back. It's headed across. Like a training ground situation there. And for Orlando, trying to be deceptive, trying to catch Washington. Doesn't come to fruition that time around. Nikione, the intended target. She eventually comes down with it. There's space here. It'll be a low lining shot, and McLeod will have no issues picking that one up. When you look at the away form for Orlando, 2 wins, 3 draws away from home. It's a Spirit side that has just 1 win in 6 home matches. They've scored 7 times, but given up 9 goals here. Pride have only scored 3 times on the road all season. Well, last week, if you were watching the Washington matchup with Kansas City, it was very much a similar overall game in terms of the activities for roughly the first hour, but then all of a sudden things turned up to a different level. Washington had a corner kick and a very nice header that was cleared off the line. And Kansas City scored what would be the lone goal of the match in stoppage time. Tanea Alexander came in, drew a penalty, took the penalty. A.D. French came up with a save that sealed the match for the Current. Washington looking for a similar second half push. This time, however, trying to avoid a concession. Good slide tackle by Bailey. Wins possession. And there's some space here. Overlapping run coming as Baggett deciding where she wants to go with it. Almer. Staub. Headed right down to Bailey. Bailey between 2 defenders. Dorian Bailey still with it, sliding to the ground. She was battling perhaps for a whistle, never got one. As she went down inside of the box, but really not much there. Take another look at it. Their bodies tangle. There will not be a foul whistled, but there will be a stoppage in play. As Dorian Jenkins took the brunt of that contact. Here's another look at this connection here. Jenkins just could not stop, and Feist does make the contact. Talking about the road form for Orlando, the last 3 times the team went on the road, they were shut out, and they gave up 12 goals, 6-0 to Portland, 1-0 to Chicago, and 5-0 to Houston. Last time they won on the road was May 19th against North Carolina. So they have now gone 8 consecutive halves on the road without scoring. Scored twice in the first half against North Carolina on May 19th. Staub slows it down. Well, expected goals at this point. Washington would be expected to have 1 at this juncture with 12 shots in hand, 4 on target. Orlando just 2 shots, but an expected goals of .4 to show the quality of chances for the Pride so far. Kerr. There's Jenkins allowed back onto the pitch. Jenkins is just trotting toward the middle of the field, and that ball snuck out there. This ball pushed forward. Brooks has had all sorts of time to make decisions. She plays this one out wide. As this one goes across the touchline. It is a goal kick coming for Orlando. Well, for the last 6 times these two teams have met, it has been a draw. One of those saw neither side score. That was back in the Challenge Cup in March, 0-0. Remember the last match, it was a 2-2 draw. Clough and Jenkins scoring in stoppage time. Looking for some of the same dramatics in this match. Still scoreless. Roughly a half hour still to play. Plays that one out. That is a questionable decision. Let's see if Orlando can make him pay. And it will not happen as Washington takes control. Long ball for Miquion. Space as well versus the 2 defenders, and Presley slides through and swipes it out. Miquion very quiet of late. Defense for Orlando has been up to the task. Dominating shot performance by the Spirit so far. The only thing that matters are the numbers above that both reach 0 at this point. Staub will take the toss. Staub gets it back and picks out Bailey. Bailey. An interception from Orlando. Either side used to sub at halftime. Expect to see some of those here in the second half. Presley. There's a foul. And a free kick for Washington. Elmer. See the adjustment she's needed to make after getting into a collision in the second half. Miquion at a piece, nearly eluded McLeod, but she carries it all the way across the end line. McLeod came out, Nice pass from Staub, even though that wasn't the initial target. To get it to Miquion, but she did very well with the right foot to get it around McLeod. '61st minute of play. No score between Orlando and Washington. An ultimate matchup here of this weekend in the NWSL. Watching and our entire crew here in the United States nation capital at Audi Field as the Spirit and Pride clash for the 19th time in all competitions. Kerr through the middle of the field, and Almer sends it out wide, and it gets intercepted. Migelski looking to defend. And Migelski, who's done a very nice job, both in the attack and defensively, does so yet again. Here comes the substitution for Orlando. First one of the match for either side. Julie Doyle will come in, and Darian Jenkins will come out. And that'll be interesting to see how that impacts this Orlando side. Doyle, a rookie playing collegiately at Santa Clara. Jenkins put in a really, really fine amount of work on the pitch. Typically, these matchups are tight. If it's not a draw, it's typically a one-goal differential. As this ball's in the box and Doyle slipping to the ground, couldn't avoid Kerr. Kerr picks up the ball and Doyle goes down hard. Right into the match, stumbling forward. Off of the giveaway via Corta. And then this pass forward for Doyle, and Doyle just slipped to the ground, and she did everything she could in that situation to avoid Kerr, but you can just see Doyle thinking that that was her opportunity to make her mark on the game and unable to do so. The Challenge Cup this year, Washington won 4-1. Other than that, pretty much every matchup in the last 5 years has either been a draw or one-goal game. Being treated to another tight tussle. Ball goes out of play. We have entered that final half-hour mark. These teams can find goals. It is a Orlando team that is looking for back-to-back wins for the first time since May of 2021. Rattled off 3 in a row during that span. Since that point, though, 6 wins, 15 losses, 7 draws. Ricochet. Kerr controls. Last week's win against Houston was the first win for the team in almost 2 months. The question just draws for this Orlando side. Here on the road, can they find some goal-scoring prowess? With Jenkins now off the field, there still certainly is some good pressing power with Abby Kim, Michaela Clough. See Washington as well, still available on the bench. Washington call upon Avery Collins, Taya Alexander, Gabby Vincent, Audrey Harding. A lot of options on that Spirit sideline. Washington had a great build to start off the match. Never could finish. Doyle with space. And the flag is up, and it is a late decision by the official to throw that flag up and call Timrak off. And here in the 66th minute with no score. Seb Hines is shown a yellow card. Apparently he kicked a chair. The officiating crew doesn't take kindly to that. So each side has been booked so far in this one. Looking for our first goal of this matchup, with a score sitting at 0-0 in the 67th minute. Which of these two sides has the player that will make that great impact? And here's a giveaway. Feist, Mikion, Shiva drops it backwards, and Almer skies it over the top of the crossbar. Well, it's fine work in the passing attack. Feist starting it. Mikion. Shiva, though, touching it backwards, and it set it up nicely for Almer, who has a goal in her 2 seasons. Last October against OL Reign. Doyle galloping forward, but Miguelski will send it out, and it's given away to Orlando. Pride with an opportunity in the box here. I don't know if that was a cross. If it was, it had well too much power on it. Well, we're going to get more end-to-end action. Good touch by Mikion. Two slide tackle attempts cancel each other out. Mikion steps up. Bailey. Feist. Feist again. To play it into traffic. Intercepted, however. Timrak. Doyle the target. Timrak the touch. Doyle spins. Space here. Not too many touches perhaps for Doyle. Staub decisive in defense. Things have definitely opened up. Mikion the intended target, and McLeod will come back to pick it up. '70th minute. Things starting to get interesting with the game opening up. Space and runners for each side. A lot of the activity coming on this half of the field. Staub with a good juke. The turn from Baggett. Mikion gonna get that first touch right and gives it away. Villacorta. Shiva defending. Had a 0-0 draw this weekend, but that was that Racing Louisville and San Diego match that featured 15 shots on goal and 39 total shots. There's an interception off the pass from Celia Jimenez. back to rescue the ball. Orlando will make a change. Courtney Peterson will be summoned, and Carrie Abello will be taken off of the pitch. Peterson, the 24-year-old, third season with Orlando, grew up in Michigan. And Darian Jenkins is out for Orlando. It's really the key piece to the attacking puzzle for the Pride. Team's leading goal scorer, Michaela Clough, is available for selection for this one. So far, she has not been summoned. Here's some space along the sideline. Collide and a foul whistle. As it stands right now here in the 73rd minute, a point apiece in this matchup, and would be the 5th time in the last 7 these two teams play to a draw. Villacorta, defenders all around her, slides this one forward. Julie Doyle. Doyle patient. Flings it backwards. Long range attempt, and Kerr with an excellent save. From about 20 yards away, the long distance shot attempt. Tess Kerr thought Doyle was going to have this initial opportunity inside of the box. Elected to lay it backwards, and then the long distance attempt from Doherty Howard gets corralled by Kerr. Just the 4th shot attempt for Orlando. Kerr strides all the way out. She's inside of the box. It's a very good shot from that range. Just the trajectory, but also the angle. Shots have been hard to come by here in the second half for both sides. McLeod will pick it up. Lead to anything. Well, in the entire history of the series, the first 18 meetings, there has only been one 0-0 draw. That was in the Challenge Cup this year, March 19th. The teams played to 0-0. Otherwise, you typically can account for goals, and just a goal for one of the two sides, typically for both. There's only been one other occasion in the last 4 years where a team has been shut out, other than that 0-0 effort. '75th minute here at Audi Field, a place that has been very difficult for opponents to play in. Just 2 wins in 16 visits here. Timrack into the box. Late run coming through by Peterson, and it gets cleared away. Mikione, 1v1 now against Presley. 1v2. Mikione was trying to make that cheeky little touch past that last line of defense and couldn't do so. It's been 78 days since Washington last tasted a victory. And almost as long since Orlando last won on the road. Timrack. Doyle. Doyle. And a corner coming up here for the Pride. Haven't been a lot of these chances for Orlando. Not not just through corners, but through set pieces. We'll get one here, however. 76th minute, no score, Spirit and Pride. Here comes the corner kick coming from Orlando. There was the service, and this one will probably actually work out for Orlando. And there is a player down in the box, and then Mikion jumping into the air, I think caught a piece as well of that same player that was on the ground. And that will require medical attention. Looks like that's Doyle. Substitute that did just come on. Here's another look at it. Right side of the screen. There's your runner hitting the deck. And then the step on the right foot for Mikion. Orlando's lone international call-up, Jenny Jonsdottir with Iceland. 7 call-ups for Washington, all with the U.S. women's national team. 8 of the team's 11 goals reside with the U.S. right now, with Hatch, Sanchez, and Trinity Rodman. Here's another glance at it. That initial tumble, certainly a reason to pause the play, but then Mikion right here, seeing the ball, knowing that Doyle's on the ground, she comes down and steps on the right ankle of Doyle. Certainly hope that Doyle is all right. 23-year-old, grew up in Newport Beach, California. Frustration being shown by Doyle. 5'8", a pretty good target inside the box as well on set pieces. But she has to come off of the field after the medical attention, so that means that Orlando will be down a player for this corner kick opportunity. We're ready for it, for real this time. Here it comes, much better service. Kerr knocks over a player in the box. No foul whistle, Washington clears. Stop play yet again. And more medical attention needed. Doyle and Almer will be allowed back in, with Presley taking a tumble. Here's another glance at it. It's won by Washington, but there's Kerr coming in. She actually hit her own teammate. Let's see. Actually, yeah, it's the punch there as she knocks down Presley in that situation. And Presley slow to get up. Brings us to a hydration break as well in this matchup, and gives us a chance to take a look at where we're at in this game. If you're just joining us, with about 10 minutes to go, Washington had 8 shots in the first 18 minutes of this match, currently sitting with 13 overall in the game. For Orlando in this matchup, 3 shots, 2 on target. Possession 58% in favor of the Spirit as well. We went a good 30 minutes without a shot attempt from either side of the first half. And as it stands right now, looking at the table, the Pride would sit in 8th place. Now, if they can take a full 3 points, they'd get into that playoff picture with 15. Kansas City is right above them, and the Current are just about ready to kick off against the Reign and are in fine form. Longest unbeaten string in club history. Elsewhere around the league this weekend, Racing Louisville and San Diego 0-0 on Friday. A hat trick from Ebony Salmon led Houston to a 4-1 win over Chicago, and Portland blew out Gotham 5-0. Couple changes for the Spirit coming as well. Karina Rodriguez and Audrey Harding will be summoned from the bench, replacing Jordan Baggett and Cameron Begelski. Begelski had a very fine match on both sides of the field, not only defending but also taking care of business in the attack. Baggett had a terrific shot to start off this second half that forced a diving stop by McLeod. And after the hydration break, after some of the medical attention required, ready for the stretch run of this matchup. Speaking with Seb Hines before this matchup, he said the first contest taught the group that it's not over until the final whistle. 2 late stoppage time goals for the Pride after being down 2-0, including the latest game-changing goal. Result-changing, this is a more appropriate term, goal from Darian Jenkins in the 98th minute. Good spin move from Helferty. Plays it through the middle now. Definitely learned that you have to wait until the final whistle between these two sides. Typically playing tight matchups. 4 of the last 6 have been draws. Washington unbeaten in those 6 matchups, with wins in the Challenge Cup this year and the regular season last year. Good move here to the middle of the box. Touched by Harding. One more pass. Miquillon. And wide. Harding freshly into the contest. Took that initial touch. We'll get another change as well. Avery Collins. Step onto the field. 25-year-old out of Bozeman, Montana. Marissa Shiva comes off the field. Nice shift from Shiva as well. She was in a lot of that early flourish. But Shiva's shift done. Here's another look at that play. Bice starting it with an excellent move. Harding, 1 extra pass. Is it 1 too many? Would be a question that maybe some might ask, but maybe a better angle for Miquillon. Fourth minute. Elmer's pass forward. Harding trying to slide that one along for Avery Collins. 2 subs working in unison. Goes out though. Look at overall league table at this juncture in the year. The Spirit are getting the fewest points per match in the league this season. 0.75. Fewest wins in the league. The Pride are slightly over 1. There's some space here. Feist works wide, clips wide. Pass in from Rodriguez. Miquillon, another touch near the penalty area. McLeod again handles. Here on this pitch at Audi Field, you know that Washington would like the full complement of points. I just feel like the chances being provided by Washington, a 5-to-1 ratio in terms of shot attempts, 15 shots to 3. If there is a goal to be had, odds are it's going to come from the Spirit. Orlando's prowess for some late stunners, never count the Pride out. Getting a decisive goal Harding couldn't rescue that ball as Listro does a fine job of stepping to it. Cloud will work wide. Sling forward for Jimenez. Timrak tried to make the turn. Eagle slide tackle. Feist will spin. Space here for Miquion. Waiting, passing, and clearing is Orlando. So Timrak getting stretched out by Amber Brooks. Good sportsmanship there. Take another look at this sequence. Timrak hitting the deck with Almer. And Orlando is going to make a change as well. Abby Kim is going to come on, as well as Michaela Clough. Megan Doherty-Howard and Erica Timrak will come out. Well, Clough has 2 goals this season, including a stoppage time effort against Washington on May 27th. One of the 2 that she's had. She has been a nice game changer out of BYU, western part of the United States. So with Clough and Kim on, that is about as attacking of substitutes as Orlando can offer. Seb Hines here in the waning moments is sensing perhaps an opportunity to make that final push with fresh legs out there. Kim, great speed. And there's potentially a foul. They don't call it. Instead, they allow play to continue. Ball not kept in play. 88th minute. 2 teams that at times have struggled to score. Found the majority of their damage to come in these moments. In the remaining few minutes. Helferty. Miquion to her left. Good touch here. Cleared away. Almer wanted it back, now gets it. Miquion taken down. Orlando handles the defense. Clough taken away. Harding. Feist. Washington making this last push here. Orlando being asked to defend. Abby Kim sailing all the way back. Staub crosses it. Header is won by the Spirit, but it goes out. A goal kick coming for Orlando. "12 days from now, it'll be the Spirit in North Carolina in the restart of the NWSL after another international window. Orlando will head to Kansas City. I'm sure both of these teams would like to walk away from this match with 3 points and build that confidence moving forward. Kim with an excellent turn. The fresh legs of Abby Kim. Abby Kim taken down in the box. It's cleared away, and it's a corner coming up for Orlando. That's exactly what I'm sure Seb Hines was looking for. Get the fresh legs onto the field. The pace of Kim, the young 23-year-old out of Liberia. And Sam Staub had to do it well. And it is a perfectly timed block. 7 minutes of stoppage time. Injuries and a hydration break causing that. Here comes a corner from Orlando. Low liner, near post, cleared. Fired right back in. Kim is on. She was the only player that would have been on in that area, and Devin Kerr handles. That's one of the things that Chris Ward wanted, was a clean sheet. There's a foul on Peterson. Rodriguez sprints to the touchline, and it's another corner coming up for the Spirit. Had a bevy of them early. This will be the 7th for Washington. Sam Staub ready for it. Stoppage time last week against Kansas City. The Spirit were dangerous. Almost everybody forward for this. Staub strikes near post, cleared. Kim with great pace will get to it. Good touch, good second touch. Foot race won by Audrey Harding. Kerr. Again, it's the second time in which he's given the ball away. I don't think that she's needed to do so. Tanaya Alexander is back onto the field. She became the first NWSL player since Mallory Pugh, also for the Spirit back in May of 2018, to come on as a sub, earn, attempt, and miss a penalty kick in the same game. She did so against Kansas City last week. She replaces Mikione in the lineup. And you know that Alexander has been champing at the bit to get back out there and make an impact in the match. Clough against Alexander. Alexander rides with her. Endo still in possession. Just about 4 more minutes to go. Dominating effort in terms of shots. 16-4 in favor of the Spirit. Kim lays it backwards. Jimenez to the box. Headed away. Collins will track it down, and play will be stopped for another injury. Looked like Doyle got clipped in the midsection. Orlando has 3 second-half stoppage time goals, more than any team in the NWSL. With a script flip for Washington in this one. Long distance shot from Feist is high. Take another look at it. Feist making that move forward. Hit it well. Oh, always rising. Orlando has certainly gotten more aggressive in its pressure. There's a foul. Easily called by our official Alyssa Nichols. Kayla Clough whistled for the foul. This one goes out for a throw. Hung around with us for the entirety of this one. Thank you. Watching with our entire crew. Bringing the action here on Twitch. Hope you're having a fine day or night wherever you may be watching this one. Are we in for a late winner? Just a couple more minutes to go, and it stands as a 0-0 decision at this point. Washington looking to make it 7 in a row unbeaten against Orlando, while While the Pride are looking to become just the third team in 17 tries to beat the Spirit here at Audi Field. Whistles. Alyssa Nichols wants the throw to come on the opposite side of the chalk. I think it's pretty much the same result. Doyle for Kim. Now Presley. Villacorta making a late push. Out wide, into the box, over Doyle, and out. Roughly 30 more seconds to play. Diana Villacorta, rookie out of UCLA. Foul whistled. Celia Jimenez. Long ball sent forward. Feist. There's your final whistle. We played nearly 100 minutes, but nothing decided. A fine performance from the Spirit. They finished with 17 total shots to 4, but unable to find a goal. It's 12 straight winless matches for the Spirit, but they're unbeaten against Orlando in the last 7 as the teams play to a 0-0 draw. Kansas City and OL Reign are getting started right now, also on Twitch. Go find that one and hope you enjoyed that contest just as much as you enjoyed this one. The final score in full time, Washington and Orlando play to a 0-0 draw in the 19th all-time meeting. 5th time in the last 7 meetings that the teams finish on level terms. For our entire crew, I'm Michael Watrank signing off. This has been a presentation of the NWSL on Twitch.